going to talk about lesson 18.2, which of course still work with the idea of proportions, okay? So just before we begin, I want to just make everything clear for you guys. I just want you to think about the proportion we're going to be using for all four sections, 18.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4, actually 0.5 as well. They're just going to be working with the same type of proportion. What is it? Well, we're always going to have a percent that is going to be compared to the 100%, right? And that ratio is going to be equivalent to what? Well, to a part. The percent always corresponds to a part of a set. And then that set, we actually call it the whole or total. Remember, we were calling it the total in a lot of different problems before. So that is the proportion we're going to be working with all the time. Now, I just want to think about a few exercises that probably are going to be a little bit hard for you. But if you keep this proportion working for you all the time, then it's just a matter of figuring out how to use it. Now, for lesson 18.1, you actually had to find the part. So here, this space is what we did for lesson 18.1. Okay? Now, lesson 18.2 is actually going to be the percent here. Okay? And then the third is going to be lesson 18.3. This is 18.2. So, if we're talking about lesson 18.1 and we want to find a part that corresponds to a percentage, then that's going to be right here. The x got to be here. If we want to find the percent that corresponds to a part they're given us, it's going to be the x over here, and it's of course lesson 18.2. But if we need to find the total or the whole, then we know the x is going to be down here, and we need to talk about lesson 18.3. Okay? Now, let's just think about that. I'm going to work on lesson 18.2, of course, because that's what we are working with today. And I'm going to look for problem number 3. Problem number 3 says 1.6 is what percent? It's what percent of 12.8? Okay? So again, it's just a matter of using this proportion. So I know 1.6 is what percent? So I know x is going to be here. And 1.6 is the corresponding part to the percent. And then we're going to have, this is not a percentage. This is just the number. And we're going to have 2.8. All right? We do cross product, which of course is going to be 1.6 times 100 is actually 160. I'm just going to skip a lot of steps now because we actually are pretty good at doing proportions at this point. So it's not going to be hard. And then I already did the math. So our life is just a little bit easier now. And so I know this is going to be the answer for problem 3. Okay? So if you think about the proportion, then it's easy to do the problems. Alright? If we think about number 4, which is dealing with fractions, that's probably what I wanted to talk about with you, just for make it easier for you. Again, we're just going to think about the proportion, right? What is what percent? So we know is what percent means we don't have the percent. So that's going to be our x. And then we know 5/6 is actually the equivalent quantity to that percent. And of course the total is going to be 3 1/3. Okay? Now I'm just going to convert the improper fraction to a proper, the mixed number to a proper fraction, so that it makes everything a little bit easier for me. So that's going to be 3/10 of x. And then I know it's going to be 5/6 times 100. This is going to be a little bit harder. Longer. Not harder, but longer. I'm going to multiply here, but I'm just going to simplify, okay? So I know it's going to be 5. I'm going to get half here. I know this is going to be 50 times 2, and this is 3 times 2. So I get the 2's down. And so it's gonna be 50 times 50 over 3, and here I got 3/10 over x, right? Now remember we gotta use reciprocal, right? So think about this. I'm going to multiply here. Remember I gotta use the reciprocal, which is just switching over the number that is multiplying the x, and then I multiply that number on both sides of the equation for sure. And then what I have is, because I get to cancel this 2, right? I get to cancel this 2. So what I get is x equals to what? Well, this is 250 over 3 times 3 over 10. 3 over 10. And of course, as you can tell, we can actually cancel things out. So I know it's gonna be 25. See? And so we know that of course gotta be 25%, since we were trying to find the percent, okay? The percent. The problem I wanna work with you guys is number 18 in the lesson, which says, Rosa wants to buy a cyber puppy. So far she has saved $34. What percent of the price of the cyber puppy do Rosa's savings make up? So here in problem 18, I know the cyber puppy is $85 because of the picture they have right there. And Rosa's savings is actually an amount of $34. And the question is, what percent of the price of the puppy is gonna be $34? So again, what percent? I know that's X. And then I know the total price for the puppy is $85, and the part I need to get the corresponding percent to is actually 34. And then I just do cross product. So that is gonna be just 3,400, and I'm gonna divide by 85, right? And so X is actually going to be 40%. If you do the division, you get 40%. That's it. See? Pretty simple. I'll see you for lesson 18.3, which is pretty much the same logic. Okay?